They told children she was a monster, an evil witch who ate the disobedient and ground their bones into dust. For centuries, Baba Yaga has been painted as the villain of Slavic fairy tales, the hag in the walking house who devours lost children. But that's not what she is. The fire is burning. The forest is waiting. Let's discover the truth they buried. Before we start, hit subscribe. This channel dives into the most shocking parts of history they never taught you. You don't want to miss this one. The stories always begin the same way. A child, usually a girl, is sent into the forest. Sometimes she's fleeing an evil stepmother. Sometimes she's searching for something lost. Sometimes she simply wanders too far from home as night falls. The forest grows darker. Then she sees it through the birch trunks, a hut standing on enormous chicken legs, spinning slowly, creaking with each rotation. Bones form the fence around it. Human skulls sit atop each post, their eye sockets glowing. Inside lives Baba Yaga. She is an ancient beyond measure. Her skin hanging in folds, her nose so long it scrapes the ceiling when she sleeps. Her teeth are iron. Some tales say she only has one leg, a single bone extending from her body. Others claim she has breasts so long and withered that she must throw them over her shoulders. She flies through the night in a mortar, rowing the air with her pestle, sweeping away her tracks with a birch broom. When the child approaches, Baba Yaga's house turns to face her. The gate of bones opens with a shriek. Inside, Baba Yaga sits at her loom or her stove, sniffing the air with her enormous nose. "I smell Russian spirit," she declares. "Russian bone." What happens next depends entirely on the child. If she shows respect, answers riddles correctly, performs impossible tasks without complaint, Baba Yaga might help her. She might give her fire or wisdom or magic objects that ensure her fortune. But if the child is rude, lazy, or disobedient, Baba Yaga cooks her in her great oven and grinds her bones for a meal. This is the witch we think we know, the monster who eats children, the enemy in a dozen fairy tales. But every detail of Baba Yaga, from her chicken-legged house to her bone fence to her unknowable nature, points to something far more ancient than a simple villain. She is a remnant, a memory of powers that ruled before Christianity swept across the Slavic world. To fully understand what Baba Yaga is, we need to travel back to when the forests were sacred, when the old gods were worshipped, and when death wasn't an ending but a step into something greater. The name itself is a mystery wrapped in ancient language. Baba in Slavic means grandmother or old woman, but it carries weight far beyond age. It suggests wisdom, authority, primal female power. Yaga is more obscure. Some scholars link it to old Russian words for fury, shudder, or horror. Others trace it to words meaning serpent or snake. Still others suggest connections to ancient roots meaning ice or chill. Put together, Baba Yaga becomes Grandmother Horror, or Ancient Serpent Woman, or the Crone of Winter. Each translation reveals a different facet of what she represents. But the words only take us so far. To understand Baba Yaga's true origins, we must look at what she does, where she lives, and how she behaves in the oldest surviving tales. First, her house. A dwelling that stands on chicken legs and spins constantly is not architecture. It's a doorway between realms. In Slavic cosmology, the universe was divided into three worlds: the world of the living, the world of the dead, and the threshold between them. Baba Yaga's house exists at that threshold. It stands at the edge of the forest, between the village and the wilderness, between the known and the unknown. The chicken legs are significant. Birds and ancient belief systems across the world mediate between earth and sky, between mortal and divine. They carry souls to the afterlife. Chickens specifically were sacrificed in Slavic funeral rites, their blood offered to ensure safe passage for the dead. Baba Yaga's house isn't simply mobile, it's a soul conductor, a doorway between worlds that can face the living or face the dead depending on which way it turns. Second, the fence of bones topped with glowing skulls. This isn't decoration meant to frighten children, it's a barrier that marks the boundary between life and death. The skulls provide light, but it's the light of the dead, cold and revealing. To pass through this gate is to enter the realm of ancestors, of spirits, of powers that exist beyond mortal law. Third, her role as both helper and destroyer. Baba Yaga never simply kills or simply aids. She tests. She demands respect, cleverness, courage, and proper ritual behavior. Those who approach her correctly, who show they understand the old ways, receive gifts of profound power. Those who approach with entitlement or ignorance are devoured. This is not the behavior of a villain. This is the behavior of a deity, specifically a death goddess. When Christianity spread through Slavic lands between the 9th and 12th centuries, it encountered a rich tradition of goddess worship. These weren't the organized pantheons of Greece or Rome, but localized spirits, forces of nature, mothers who controlled fertility, harvest, life, and death. The church couldn't simply erase these beliefs. They were too deeply rooted in the soil. So they did what Christianity has always done with stubborn pagan deities. They demonized them. Gods became demons, goddesses became witches. Baba Yaga likely began as one of these goddesses. Possibly several merged together over time. Scholars have identified connections to multiple pre-Christian Slavic deities. Morana or Martsana, the goddess of winter, death, and rebirth. Her festivals involved drowning or burning effigies to ensure spring's return. She was both destroyer and necessary force, the death that allows new life. Mokash, the earth mother and spinner of fate, she was associated with weaving, with the threads that bind life and death, with the earth that receives the dead and births new crops. The Villa or Rusalki, powerful female spirits who controlled forests, water, and boundaries. They could bless or curse, heal or kill, depending on whether humans showed them proper respect. Baba Yaga incorporates elements of all these figures. She spins fate at her loom. She controls the forest threshold. She embodies winter's killing cold and spring's grudging gifts. She is death, but also transformation. The chicken-legged house makes more sense when we understand Slavic funeral practices. The ancient Slavs sometimes built small wooden structures on poles above graves, creating elevated spirit houses for the dead. These houses kept the deceased connected to the living world while marking them as separate. Baba Yaga's dwelling is such a structure, magnified to cosmic scale. She doesn't just live in a spirit house. She is the spirit house, the guardian of the threshold, the one who determines whether souls pass properly from one state to another. Her iron teeth aren't random grotesquerie. Iron, in Slavic tradition, was protective against evil spirits, but also belonged to the realm of the dead. Blacksmiths who worked with iron occupied a strange social space. Respected but feared, touching forces ordinary people avoided. Her mortar and pestle, the tools she uses to fly through the night, were used in real Slavic ritual to grind grain for funeral bread and herbs for healing. They represented transformation, grinding life into death, death into new life, sickness into health. Even the detail that Baba Yaga has only one leg appears in multiple goddess traditions. One-legged beings exist in a state between motion and stillness, between worlds. They can stand in both realms simultaneously. This wasn't meant as a disability, but as a mark of supernatural power. The most famous Baba Yaga tale, Vasilisa the Beautiful, preserved by folklorist Alexander Afanasiev in the 19th century, reveals the goddess's true function when we read beneath the surface narrative. Vasilisa's mother dies, giving her daughter a magical doll before passing. The doll is a remnant of ancestor worship, the mother's spirit continuing to guide and protect. Vasilisa's father remarries. The stepmother and stepsisters, jealous of Vasilisa's beauty, scheme to destroy her. One night, they extinguish all the fires in the house and send Vasilisa into the forest to get fire from Baba Yaga, certain the witch will devour her. Vasilisa, guided by her mother's doll, reaches the chicken-legged house. She knocks respectfully. Baba Yaga appears and immediately begins testing her. If you want fire, you must work for it. Vasilisa is given impossible tasks. Sort poppy seeds from dirt, separate mildewed grain from good grain, clean the house, cook enormous meals, all while Baba Yaga flies through the night on mysterious errands. But Vasilisa has her mother's doll, her ancestral wisdom. Each night, the doll completes the impossible task. When Baba Yaga returns each dawn, everything is perfect. Finally, Baba Yaga allows Vasilisa to ask questions. "Why do riders in white pass your house at dawn?" Vasilisa asks. "My bright day," Baba Yaga answers. "And the red rider at noon?" "My red sun." "And the black rider at dusk?" "My dark night. They are my servants." Then Baba Yaga warns, "You may ask about what you've seen, but do not ask about what I do in this house, or you will know too much and die from the knowing." Vasilisa, showing wisdom, asks no further questions. Satisfied, Baba Yaga gives her a skull filled with burning coals and sends her home. When Vasilisa returns, the fire from the skull destroys her wicked stepmother and stepsisters, but leaves her untouched. This isn't a story about an evil witch and a lucky escape. It's an initiation myth. Vasilisa must enter the realm of death, represented by Baba Yaga's threshold house. She must perform impossible labor, the spiritual equivalent of shamanic ordeals. She must demonstrate respect for mysteries beyond human understanding by not asking forbidden questions. In return, she receives fire that destroys the false and preserves the true. She emerges transformed, no longer a child, but a woman who has confronted death and been reborn. Baba Yaga is the initiator, the guide who leads souls through transformation. Those who approach her with courage and wisdom emerge stronger. Those who approach with ignorance or malice are consumed because they aren't ready for what lies beyond the threshold. Baba Yaga isn't unique. She's the Slavic expression of a goddess archetype that appears across cultures. In Greek myth, Hecate guards the crossroads between worlds, carrying torches to light the way for souls. She aids heroes but demands respect. Her sacred animals include dogs, serpents, and creatures of the night. She is ancient even to the Greeks, a titan who predates the Olympians. In Celtic tradition, the Cailleach is the old woman of winter, the hag who rules the dark months. She strikes the ground with her staff to create frost. She guards sacred wells and can transform from hideous crone to beautiful maiden. She is both creator and destroyer, shaping the landscape itself. In Germanic lore, Frau Holle lives in a realm accessed through a well, a threshold to the other world. She tests young women who enter her domain through housework and spinning. The virtuous receive golden gifts, the lazy are covered in pitch. Her realm exists outside normal time and space. Even beyond Indo-European traditions, death crones appear. Japan's Yama-uba, the mountain witch, devours travelers but sometimes aids heroes. She exists at the boundary between civilization and wilderness. The pattern is ancient. An old woman who guards thresholds, who tests the worthy, who controls death and transformation. who lives at the edge of the unknown world in a dwelling that belongs to both realms. Baba Yaga is the Slavic variation, but she speaks to something universal in human consciousness: the recognition that transformation requires ordeal, that wisdom lives in dark places, that the feminine divine is not an all-nurturing mother, but also devouring crone who can be both good and evil. So what do you think? Should we fear Baba Yaga or respect her? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, forgotten myths that cut to the heart of what it means to be human, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for entering the forest with me. I'll see you in the next story.